Good afternoon, everybody. This is the Bourbon City News, brought to you by my own money. There is no one paying for this except me. I have yet to set up sponsorships for anybody. I just acquired this .com, and it's called bourbon-city-news.com. In the weeks ahead, I plan on trying to make this website into something where I can have some influence on the election this November the 6th. I have never in my lifetime ever attempted anything like this. I've always voted. I've always talked politics. I ran for several offices in southeastern Kentucky, and I've always enjoyed both parties. I've got a brother-in-law that was a very staunch supporter of the Democrat Party in Kentucky. Very, very moral, upstanding citizen that fought as far as his politics for what he believed in. Back during the years that we had our debates, he and I, on politics, they were always friendly, but they were always for the good of mankind. Both parties seemed like they at least, they got along. They disagreed on this and that, but they didn't despise each other. Well, his parents were very hardworking people. They worked here in Knox County where he was born. He and his brother, they raised them up. His mother was a hardworking school teacher here in the Knox County school system. His dad was a pretty good businessman. And over the years, they acquired some land and it had a little coal on it. And they worked hard for this. They worked hard to acquire this. Obama didn't give it to them. Obama's kind didn't give it to them. Obama's kind did not build the roads to get to the property. Said, you didn't build this yourself? They did more to build it than Obama's kind did to build it, I'll tell you that. The people that built it were hardworking taxpayers that used their money to build these roads so that people could feed their families, so that coal miners could get out and go in and work in the mines and feed their families. They were hardworking people. Coal miners are some of the hardest working people in the country. It aggravates me to no end to think how our president thinks about the hard-working coal people in West Virginia, in Kentucky, in Pennsylvania. There was a poll that came out a couple of nights ago. Today is August the 2nd. I saw the polls last night that showed that he was actually ahead of Mitt Romney in Pennsylvania. That can't possibly be right. If that's right, God help us, because there's not that many dumb people in Pennsylvania. I know there's not that many dumb people in Kentucky, and I'm sure there's not that many in Pennsylvania. I hope and I pray that come November the 6th, now this is the first time that I have said this one percentage publicly. I've said it to a few friends, and I've mentioned it. The figures that came to me, the percentage that came to me was 42.87. Now, having said this, on August the 2nd, where I can verify this, I don't care if I look like a fool and it's off. I don't care if it's 49.999 and Mitt Romney gets 50.0001. I don't care if I look like a fool by having the percentages wrong, but the percentage that came to me that Obama would get is 42.87% of the electorate. Now, I know that may be shocking to a lot of people, and they're going to say, well, that old man's nuts. But I'll tell you, we will see, because and I'm sure I didn't dream this up myself on my own. I didn't make this number up, but it did come to me. And here's what I believe. I believe that there is 42.87% of the people that are going to get out and vote that don't have a lick of sense. And if you're one of them and I've offended you, you probably don't even know what it means. You know, you can't possibly have good sense and vote for that man. Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't have good sense and voted for him 4 years ago. I am not a racist. I have a lot of black friends, and some of them may get mad at me for this. And very possibly, I mean, I can see their side, because if I was in a country that the blacks had controlled for years and years, and I'd come through this and it had been, you know, they didn't treat us as good all them years as they should have, I probably would be offended. And if a white man was running for election and we had fought our way back in through here for equal rights and things like that, I would probably vote for the white man, even if I thought, well, the black man might do a little bit better job. But just because of that nature, it's human nature. So every one of the black people that voted for Obama 4 years ago, more power to you. And I would have done the same thing, I'm sure. I mean, in looking it over, I would have done the same thing. I didn't not vote for him because he was black. Colin Powell, I didn't like the fact that he, you know, jumped sides because that, you know, that an African American was running for president. But I can see why he did it. So that doesn't make me dislike him. I just don't like him as well. Herman Cain, fine man. I would vote for him, I mean, right now. Condoleezza Rice, I would vote for Condoleezza Rice for president. She is so much smarter. It's unreal. That's the thing that gets me about these people that talk about how smart he is. How can he be so smart? And if he misses his lines or doesn't have his teleprompter around, he can't say what 2 and 2 is. He gets all tongue-tied. He don't know. And then you've got all these people that are telling all these fibs about how great he was in college. I haven't seen any proof that he was smart enough to get out of the rain. Now, this sounds like that I'm disgruntled. Well, I'll tell you, I've become disgruntled in the last 4 years, in the last 3 years, well, 4 years. Basically, you know, I was thinking about Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and Hillary running, but God, we would have been so much better off if Hillary would have won. I'm not bragging about liking Hillary. I do know this. Bill Clinton may not have been the highest morals as far as some people, you know, him and this Monica deal, but at least he was smart enough to know when to change his looking at things because of the American people, the way that he knew that they wanted. This president isn't that smart. This president is going to cram. If he gets reelected, you talk about a mess. You think this country's in a mess now? You watch and see what this country is in if this guy gets back reelected. I feel sorry, and if he gets reelected, as bad as it gets, and I know that you voted for it, I will not feel one bit sorry for you whatsoever, but I will sure feel sorry for the people that tried to get him out of office. It's pathetic, people. It is absolutely pathetic. Now, I'm not a preacher, but I've got high morals. I've done a few things wrong in my life. Show me somebody that hasn't. But all in all, I love my family, and I would work just as hard again to raise my family as I have in the past. But don't tell me, when I opened a business a few years ago, don't tell me that I didn't build it. Don't tell me when I was sweating in that kitchen, in that restaurant that I opened, don't tell me that somebody else was in there. That was me. Now, I had people working for me, and they were hard workers, and they did help. But don't tell me I didn't build it. I built it. That's plain and simple. I built it. You did not build it. If you think you built the roads to get there, you did not build the roads to get there. The hardworking people in that area built those roads, and they got paid for the hard work they did, and the taxpayers gladly paid them to build those roads. But don't tell me that we didn't build it. If you're a small business owner and you're not smart enough to know that you built that yourself, then that's the people he's talking about. You didn't build it. You vote for him, I would say he's right, just with those people. But the people that actually built their business, their self, they won't be voting for him. Have a nice day.